dig my toes into the sand. Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home to bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. Welcome back, welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully, you guys are doing excellent and taking care of yourselves. I hope you are having a lovely day. So, I have a question. With all of these Epstein files coming out, with all of this massive, sheer amount of information, do you feel overwhelmed? That's because that's exactly the warfare that they have planned out. And we're going to get real deep into this, so hang tight. Because it very well easily could be a psyop and probably is a psyop in one way or another. So I was reading a lawyer's post about the Epstein files and about how they have been disseminated. Basically, they just gave us the information and let it up to the reader to try to figure it out and sort it all out. They just blurted it out there. She stated that in a trial, they don't do this kind of methodology with extreme chaos, extreme destruction, murder, that kind of stuff. They break things down evenly, sequentially, and they don't blast. They protected the jury. They don't blast them with a bunch of information right off the bat. They take it slow. That's how disclosure is supposed to happen. Unfortunately, the way the disclosure happened was the attorney general just was like, "Oh, we're going to redact all this stuff and then give it out." And then they took back the redactions and gave it back. But let's not talk about this too much, okay? I want to talk to you about the idea of how this syncs up with aliens, because that's what my podcast is about. And sometimes the afterlife and how the afterlife plays into it and how spirituality plays into it. So what we have in the Epstein files is we have massive problems with many individuals, high ranking officials, seemingly being part of this trafficking and this abuse and this really horrible shit. And like, there's talk of, you know, children that were, oh man, just horrible stuff. Horrible stuff. I don't even want to think about it. And the fact of the matter is that this is the type of stuff that makes people believe that these people are not even human. These people are either influenced by demons or actually are real demons or some other species. Now, I, I don't think that they're another species. I think that we have records of people being born, right? So these people are probably human, but could they have been influenced or taken over by some sort of evil influence? You see, we have this battle of good and evil. And good and evil has always been there. And good and evil can be confusing at times, right? You know, one tribe might have to fight another tribe over resources. That happens all the time. And is it evil for one tribe to dominate another tribe because there's only so much food? Typically not, right? I mean, it's just the history of humanity. I mean, would it be nice if we could all get along and feed each other and take care of each other? Yes. But sometimes what's right and what's wrong gets a little bit gray. In the Epstein files case, there is no gray. It is all evil, right? And we all can agree on that. So what we have is virtuosity, good energy that people want to believe in, that people want to follow, and you have this negative energy that some certain people want to do follow as well. Now, why would it seem that the upper echelon of society, people that are rich, okay, I'm not, see, that's where people get confused, is that they think that just because people are rich, they're good. No, obviously not. But it doesn't necessarily mean that rich people are not good at the same time. There could be rich people that are still good. Unfortunately, it seems like what's happened is that altruistic, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so what you have is people that get so much money, they get bored and they try to push for other things, right? Push for speed, they push for strength, they push for power, they push for sometimes grotesque things. And so that could be one of the aspects here. Another aspect is there have been many people who stated that these people were sacrificing humans to their god, whatever God that is, whether it's some sort of satanic God or whatever. A lot of people believe in that. A lot of people believe that, people from like Jay-Z and Beyonce were involved, to Trump, to obviously Epstein and his whole crew, to people from like way back in Obama's cabinet were involved. I mean, like a lot of people are in these files. And a lot of people have thought in the music industry and in political industries that they've sold their soul to the devil. And if that's the case, then you have to drink from the devil's chalice, right? And that seems to be kind of what's happened here. So let's bring it back to previous stories that we've heard outside of this circle. So I'll bring you back to a Lieutenant Colonel Greg Renrich's story about how he was brought in on the special ops, the alien base, well, or the bases where we keep aliens and interact with aliens and work together with aliens in these deep underground military bases. So this is bringing us back to lockdown original or origins, right? So we're talking about Lieutenant Colonel Greg Renrich, who was brought into the special ops like Area 51, 52, S2, and brought into these deep underground military bases to serve in his military capacity. What he told us was that he had to sign non-disclosure agreements stating that no matter what, under any circumstances, would he ever utter the words Jesus Christ in these deep underground military bases. And it makes you wonder, why would he not be able to say Jesus Christ in these deep underground military bases? The answer may be right in front of our very eyes. If these individuals who are in the Epstein files are committing these demonic atrocities, at least what many of us would believe are evil and demonic atrocities, that you couldn't say the words of people that are pure of heart, Jesus Christ, right? When people invoke the word Jesus Christ, lots of things change. Reportedly, alien abductions stop. Reportedly, they can deflect demons. Reportedly, his name can shield those who truly believe in him. Now, am I saying you have to believe in Jesus to listen to this podcast? No. Do you have to believe in what I'm saying? No. But what I'm saying is it's the stories that I've heard and the information that's coming out of the Epstein files seems to correlate, because people are evil. And these people have shown themselves to be totally malicious, and they cannot believe in Jesus if they're doing this stuff. They can't be truly good people. So therefore, if you uttered the name Jesus Christ in full power and believed in it, that could you stop them? The answer might be no, still. There was, and the reason I say this is because there was a story about the Iceman. The Iceman was a serial killer for the mob. John Klakinski, I believe his name is. That's how you pronounce it. But you can look up the Iceman, you'll find him. This dude killed I don't know, I think he self-proclaimed like 100 or 200 people for the mob. And what he'd do is he'd keep the bodies on ice and then eventually get rid of them. Because if you kept them on ice, then people couldn't tell how long they were dead for, right? Or when they died, right? So the longer you can separate yourself from the timeline of a murder, the easier it is to get away with it, right? So that's what he did. And now, when that happens, you get a lot of information that comes out of that. So John, the Iceman, told a story about how he was sent to go kill this guy, and when he went to his house and he was waiting for him. The guy came in and he had him sit down, and he was like, you know, it's time to die. This guy was like, no, 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 I gotta pray, I gotta pray, I gotta pray. Jesus is gonna save me. Da 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 da. John said, you know what? I'm gonna let you pray for a half an hour, and if Jesus can come down, or God or whoever will come down and stop me, then you're free. And the guy prayed for a half an hour straight, and unfortunately, it was that guy's time to die. So it makes you wonder now. Now we're at the crossroads of what are we doing here on earth, right? If it is a battle of good versus evil, and it's not, and you're praying to the good God to save you, and he doesn't save you from the Iceman, or he doesn't save you from some other sort of negative, really negative, like near, like deathly experience, then who are we praying to? And people could say this about a lot of things. Why, if I got cancer, did I, if I prayed, wouldn't God stop that? Or, why wouldn't he save, some other kid from getting run over or something like that? There's lots of questions. So we have to ask ourselves, you know, is Lieutenant Colonel Greg Renrich correct in saying he could not say this around these alien beings, because there's alien beings that were working in these deep underground military bases with the government, in connection with the government, and they were tall reptilians, and he was told he could not say the word Jesus Christ, the two words Jesus Christ. And even if he stubbed his toe, even if he got hurt, even if he was happy, whatever, he could not say, could not utter it. And that's unfortunately, we only have one person that's ever come out and said that they had to sign that NDA. I would love to hear it come from multiple more people. If we had like 5 more people that came out and said that didn't know Greg, I would love to hear that, because that would be a little bit more powerful, right? We'd have more witness testimony telling us that, yeah, this Jesus thing is real, right? Like they don't want us saying Jesus. Unfortunately, we only have one guy saying it. Whereas, in other ufology, we have lots of witnesses that have been in these underground military bases and not said that. Bob Lazar, I don't think, ever said that he couldn't say the word Jesus Christ, and he worked in Area 51. Um, so, but he wasn't working with aliens. He wasn't working amongst aliens. He was just working on the alien craft. So there really wasn't a reason for him to not be able to say it. Uh, and this Greg Renrich might have been in a different base where there was different protocols and different people and that sort of thing. Because I mean, if you think about it, even in humanity, there's certain things you could say around different groups of people, and there's certain things you can't say around certain societies or certain different countries, people from different countries. You just don't say certain things, or you don't act a certain way, or you don't move a certain way. You take your shoes off when you go to a house in Japan, whereas in America that's not always the case. A lot of things are different in different areas. So you kind of do as the Romans do when you go to Rome, right? Now, how come we are having such negative energy at this crossroads? Well, they say that this negative energy is to train us, or to challenge us, and to challenge our wills. So were the people that were part of this whole Epstein thing being challenged with their wills to not do what was going on here, to not abuse their absolute power? Were these people that were engaging with Epstein, were they trying to benefit from his power, from his monetary capabilities, because he was a financially sophisticated guru when it came to getting things funded and being part of different operations. He was smart with it, and people valued him. Of course, a lot of banks dropped him too, because they started understanding he was running this whole trafficking thing. So my question is so many. I have so many questions, right? Like, there's so much information that goes all the way back to 2010, right? And all this stuff was written in code. It was like, bring grape soda and a piece of pizza, or I have a bag of jerky in the ice freezer. Why would you keep jerky in a freezer? Jerky is like shelf stable for like ever, right? Um, for the most part, it depends on how wet it is, but usually it's pretty dry. Um, so and why were they so fascinated with jerky? It's like weird, right? So they're using the word jerky for a different reason. So my question is, how come the FBI didn't catch into this earlier on? I mean, it just seems like they were protected by some sort of maybe evil entity, right? If they were friends with these high entities in the government, then they were protected, And I mean, what's crazy to me is that there were people in the government that were reportedly actually torturing, unfortunately, uh, young people. I mean, torturing. I mean, like not just like regular torture. I'm talking about real torture. And if they were in power then, I mean, how come the arrests haven't come? Where's the arrests? Right? We want arrests. We want people to go down for this. And Pam Bondi said, if we try to take people down, then the entire system will collapse. Well, what system is that? What? Capitalism? Trump's presidency? America? The world? Well, Elizabeth April, who's a psychic and remote viewer, and is well tapped in with people in the Intergalactic Federation and secret societies and all that, she stated that Trump's whole purpose, his sole purpose here on Earth, is to be a disruptor. So maybe his purpose was, as a president, to disrupt all of this bad shit that was going on, expose it all, even if he's a part of it, to get it exposed, and so that we can make the necessary changes that need to happen in this country, not in this country, in this world. There's a lot of changes that need to happen in this world, right? Capitalism is an antagonist to make us move faster and stronger and better, but communism allows us to be at peace and have freedom and not be so stressed. But at the same time, both have their negative aspects, where communism can make you lazy and can make a society not have the things that they need. Capitalism can cause homelessness. So we really have to look at what is the best for us, what is the best system for us. I guarantee you a lot of people will say some form of communism. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that I think that's what a lot of people would say. I think that there has to be some sort of like barter in between system where we don't have to rely on so much bullshit um, that's made up. I mean, the dollar's made up now at this point. It's taken off the gold standard. Banks only have to hold 10% or less of what they have loans out for. I mean, it's fucking insane. It's fucking insane. And 10% or less are what people have their money in the bank for. So let's say let's say the bank's only holding like $1 million in the bank or whatever it's holding, right? I don't know. I'm just guessing. And there was a run on banks, they would not be able to give you your money. You'd be screwed. Because they don't have to hold it. So you're better off holding it, I don't know, somewhere else, the bank. And that's why we're having like this decentralization. But also, apparently Epstein was part of that too. He was supposedly Satoshi Nakamoto that created Bitcoin. In the files and in his emails, he stated that Satoshi name was seemed to be a good name to go with. I mean, there's all kinds of weird shit that you can like get down and read about and say, oh, okay, well, this makes sense, that makes sense. But at the end of the day, it's like, what the fuck is the truth? It's almost like we're being mind blasted with so much information. So what they're doing, like if we're looking at this as a psyop, the government has deluged us with all these documents. Nobody can read through 3 million documents. So since the government has deluged us with 3 million documents, some smart individual created the Epstein files podcast that uses AI to go through all of the documents in 3 million pages, cohesively create uh, two episodes a day on different topics within the files. So it's genius. It's genius. Unfortunately, it's AI, and some AI thing's getting credit for it. The guy is getting credit for it. I mean, I don't know if he's getting paid for it or not. I mean, because some AI podcasts don't get paid, but if he is, I mean, I guess good for him. But because there's so much information, we're getting bombarded with it. It almost desensitizes you into a state of either a full aggression, and you just want to just go out and just you know do a bunch of not good things, right? Or B, it is going to desensitize us into apathy, or not even apathy, but just like paralysis and analysis paralysis, where we're like, whoa, there's so much shit coming out. And when like Pam Bondi said, they can't arrest everybody or the system collapses. Well, then maybe it's time, like our forefathers said, to the government. If it's not fitting of being the government, then it should. There's some sort of like constitutional uh, amendment that says if they're not fit for their office, then they can be taken out of office. I mean, maybe you know what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not talking about just the president here. I'm talking about anybody that um, participated or is in these files and is part. It can be proven to be part of something negative. You know, you have to have the proof. The proof is in the pudding, right? And you gotta have the proof. So what do you think we should do moving forward? It's clear that even if we believe in God, whatever that God is not saving all these kids. We have to take care of that as our own as our onto ourselves as a community and bring people to justice. And if doing that brings down a lot of the system, quote unquote, so be it, right? That's the way you clear out the system. You make a definitive stand on what we believe in and leave it at that. Now, do I believe that there are demonic forces at play here that played into some of these people's decisions? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, anything that's this evil, you got to think something is pushing its way. And I mean, I want to believe that people are not born evil and people are born good. People are born innocent. But I also believe that reincarnation is real, that we come with some baggage. And if people came into this world with some negativity from the last lifetime that they participated in, that maybe they could lead a negative lifetime here again. And so does it have to be demons? No, it could be people are just negative. Certain souls are just negative. Born in, they could be born to good parents, right? Just look at like the the Colorado shootings that happened. Those kids had supposedly good parents. Um, well, Dylan and Eric, right? Can't remember the damn place now. But in Colorado, those dudes, started off the whole school shooting thing. I think anybody that's involved in that, you gotta have some sort of demonic presence. Who the hell would want to go in and hurt kids? Nobody. I'm nobody that has any rational mind. Period. I don't care who you are or who you're pissed at. You know, be pissed at yourself or be pissed at, an adult that maybe it hurt you, but don't take anything out on kids. Never, ever, ever. So, um, what do you think? Is this a battle of good versus evil? Is this a battle of souls, good versus evil souls? Are there ethereal forces at play, angels and demons, God and Satan? Or is it simply the human mind and the evils that are on the earth. What do you think? I'd like to hear your thoughts. This is in the news. It's fascinating, not in a good way, but it's fascinating in a way that we can hopefully save future generations from the evil that we're seeing today. So, um, something will be done. He was already arrested, and I don't know. I don't know if that dude is even alive. There's pictures of him with a beard in Israel with two bodyguards, and they ran that picture through AI, and the picture said it was authentic, and it is exactly Epstein with a beard. And if these people are as powerful as they are, then there's no doubt in my mind that he could get away. And that might be the most horrific thing of everything, is that he could get away. So, what do you think? Put your comment in the comment section. Love to hear what you have to say. Take care of yourself spiritually a lot. Pray, meditate, use white light to circle around you. Use gems and stones, use health, use happiness, use comedy to bring about happiness and a positive energy around you and those you love, man. It's about bringing love into the world, not and repelling the fear and the hate. Protect your mind. Your physical body is important, right? If you can't work out, it's okay. Go for walks if you can. If you can't go for walks, do what you can in the chair. If you're stuck in a chair, that's okay. I've worked with many, many older individuals or disabled individuals. We've exercised in chairs. Just to keep your mind healthy, you're keeping your physical body healthy as much as you can anyway. Mind, body, spirit, follow through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams. Man, do whatever you can that makes you happy. I think that's super important. If there's something that makes you happy, do it. And as always, continue to question the universe around you. All right, guys. Take care. I'm going to post up some funny, humorous alien stuff on the Lockdown Universe website, which I haven't done anything on in forever. So if you are looking for a little bit of fun, I think it's Lockdown Universe. This is crazy. Lockdown Universe com, .wordpress.com, and you'll find it there. So the last post is from 2023. I'm going to start posting hopefully some stuff in there in the next few days. There's some interesting stories in there right now that are humorous, but yeah, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Please post in the comments. Sam, I appreciate you, and the few other people that are posting in there. And we'll let you go. Go have yourself a great weekend now coming up with Friday around the corner. And I love you guys. Peace out. Lockdown Universe. We'll play you something on the way out. How about that? Let's see. What can we do? Wow, that's rough. That's an Offspring song. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Ooh, that's out of tune. All right, I love you. Peace. Lockdown Universe out.